though. You'll feel like you're heading straight into a storybook if you head to Oneonta Gorge, Oregon. You'll be stepping back in time at this incredible river gorge as the exposed basalt walls date back to 25 million years. It's filled with ferns, moss, and waterfalls. Don't be surprised if you bump into a ferry or two along the way. Number 21. To travel is to live. If you've traveled through Arizona, you've no doubt made a pit stop at the Horseshoe Bend along Colorado River's path. With over 10,000 five-star ratings on TripAdvisor, you know you're going to enjoy it. Views are said to be breathtaking, but just time your walk so that the shadows don't ruin your otherwise incredible photographs. Number 20. Not all who wander are lost. The Hamilton Pool in Texas is the most surreal spot to visit, where you are bound to forget all your worries and be solely focused on the exquisite surroundings. The dome of an underwater river collapsed thousands of years ago, causing this natural pool to form. It only became really popular in the 1960s, and now you have to book your spot 2 weeks in advance, and you can only stay for 4 hours. The limestone walls and waterfalls are majestic, and you can also enjoy a hike or two. Number 19. Seasoned Traveler. If that's you, you've probably hiked one of the popular trails at Multnomah Falls. This waterfall is the tallest in the state of Oregon at 620 feet. The waterfall formed around 15,000 years ago. There are 2 hiking options, a moderate 2.2-mile hike with 700 feet of elevation to look forward to, or a 5.4-mile hike to Wakena Falls at 1,600 feet of elevation. Think we'll stick with option 1. Number 18. Travel bug has bitten. This is probably one of the most photographed hot springs in the world, and that's because of its crazy size and stunning colors. Located in Yellowstone, the Grand Prismatic is as deep as a 10-story building and is bigger than a football field. It's the 3rd largest hot spring in the world, and the hot water comes from a crack in the earth around 121 feet below. The spring has rings of orange, yellow, and green around it, which is caused by the bacteria living in the cooler water on the edges of the spring. The water in the spring reaches temperatures of 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 17. The road less traveled. The Skagit Valley tulip fields in Washington are home to thousands and thousands of tulips that are in full bloom from April 1st to April 30th. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people come and visit the fields between those dates. George Gibbs can be credited for bringing tulips back to America in 1883. Number 16. If not now, when? Mexico is loaded with beautiful places to visit, but be sure to not miss a trip to Tamul Falls. It's the turquoise waters that first attract people to this gorgeous site, but there is so much more to it than just the color of the waters. The waterfall is the tallest in San Luis Potosi, and it's just a day's drive from Texas to get there. You'll encounter amazing rock formations as well as the ancient ruins of Tamtok, and that's before you've even reached the falls. Number 15. Let's go on an adventure to Caddo Lake in Texas and Louisiana, where you'll come across one of the most unique lakes in the world. This is home to one of the largest flooded cypress forests in the world. The lake and the wetlands are 25,400 acres and are named after the Native Americans who were expelled from the area in the 19th century. There was a lot of oil underneath this lake, and in 1911 the world's first water oil platform was completed in the lake. It is now an internationally protected wetland and definitely worth a visit. Number 14. Pack your bags. We're heading to Watkins Glen State Park in New York. Although it's no Niagara Falls, it will remind you of something that would come straight out of a Tolkien novel. This magical spot is found south of Seneca Lake, and it's there you'll find the Rainbow Bridge and falls. The cliffs and waterfalls will leave you spellbound, and to give you an idea of the beauty of the area, it received 3rd place in 2015 in the USA Today Reader's Choice poll for Best State Park in the US. Number 13. Leave only your footprints. Don your hiking boots, slap on your sunscreen, and pack lots of water as you're about to hike for 2 hours to reach Avalanche Lake in Montana's Glacier National Park. This exceptionally clear lake is tucked in between snowy mountains and rushing waterfalls, and if you're a photographer, you will be spoiled with endless options of gorgeous photographs. Number 12. Every day is an adventure. And if you're keen for an epic one, you can't pass up an opportunity to head to the Mendenhall Ice Caves in the USA. Found under a 12-mile-long glacier in Alaska, the ice caves are these huge cavities inside the ice. The ever-warming climate is, however, a big threat to this natural masterpiece, so head there sooner rather than later. Due to the area constantly melting, the caves often take on a new look. There's one small bonus. The melting ice creates beautiful springs inside the caves, which really add to the already surreal imagery of the ice caves. Number 11. Adventure awaits. Now go find it. This is probably the most beautiful wildflower bloom in all of America, and you can have unparalleled views if you head over to Texas Hill Country in Texas. Every April, the countryside literally explodes with bluebonnets. GPS it west of Austin and north of San Antonio. You're welcome. Number 10. Hike more, worry less. And we have just the spot for you. The Dry Tortugas National Park is a national park close to Key West in the Gulf of Mexico. There is a slight difference though. The park isn't known for its mountains or waterfalls, but rather its abundant sea life. You can only access this park by boat or seaplane, and it's there that you'll witness Fort Jefferson and the 7 Dry Tortugas Islands. Only around 63,000 people visit the park a year, and they've enjoyed tales of shipwrecks and sunken treasures, gone snorkeling, camping, fishing, scuba diving, and kayaking. Definitely a spot to add to your bucket list. Number 9. Stairway to Heaven. That's the alternative name given to the Haiku Stairs of Oahu, Hawaii. At this point in time, the Stairway to Heaven is closed to the public. Some people have chosen to ignore that though, and still make their way to the top. There are close to 4,000 stairs taking you to the top, and put aside about 3 or 4 hours to get up and around an hour to 2 hours to come back down. Perhaps we can make an exception just this once and bend the rules a little. Does seem worth the risk. Number 8. Fill her up. Because you and your vehicle are heading to Moraine Lake, Canada. The lake that has everyone heading to this area is found in the Valley of the 10 Peaks, and it's elevated at around 6,200 feet. The water in Moraine Lake is a gorgeous blue, and almost stealing its thunder are the beautiful surrounding mountains and their snowy peaks. Number 7. Man-made beauty. This is the Arlington Green Covered Bridge located just off Vermont Route 313. The bridge was built in 1852, making it one of Vermont's oldest surviving bridges. Makes you wonder who has traveled over that bridge over all these years. It's 80 feet long, with its width measuring 17.5 feet. What makes it most unusual is that nothing has been added to the bridge in recent years to strengthen it. It suffered some damage during Hurricane Irene, which was repaired and then reopened to the public. Number 6. Book a one-way ticket. Georgia is an amazing place to visit with the family, and particularly Savannah, the oldest city in Georgia. This beautiful city began in 1733 and was the first state capital of Georgia. Today, the city serves as an industrial center and Atlantic seaport. Millions of visitors descend on this city every year and walk through the cobblestone streets and visit the birthplace of Juliette Gordon Low. She founded Girl Scouts USA. There are beautiful sculptures, monuments, and out-of-the-world burial vaults. Number 5. Requires a little planning. If you are into hiking, then this is probably on your must-hike list. The Wave is one of America's most beautiful rock formations, and it's located in Arizona. Only 20 people are allowed to hike on these beautiful mountains every day, and it's done in a lucky draw type of way. Although some stories suggest you can book, so maybe that's changed. If you're lucky enough to make the cut, share your photographs with the unlucky ones who didn't get that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Number 4. Travel lightly. There won't be too much space if you're trekking through the Louisiana Atchafalaya Basin swamp at Henderson. It's the largest river swamp in the U.S. and is made up of 1 million acres of hardwoods, swamps, and lakes. Also known as America's wetland, they are 150 miles long and 20 miles wide. Interesting to note, the basin is home to 65 species of reptiles and amphibians, plus 250 species of birds that we know of, a huge variety of animals, and the largest nesting concentration of bald eagles in the southern U.S. Number 3. Take the scenic route. Although not a specific place, it's the view that the Beartooth Highway affords the lucky traveler that is breathtaking. It's a section of Route 212 in Montana and Wyoming, connecting Red Lodge and the northeast entrance of Yellowstone National Park. You'll reach levels of 10,947 feet above sea level, and it's been described as quote-unquote the most beautiful drive in America. Number 2. The hills are alive. Palouse Hills northeast of Walla Walla are 4,000 square miles of gorgeous, rolling, asymmetrical hills that connect the north of Lewiston to the end of Lake Coeur d'Alene. You would assume that rivers and streams would have created this beautiful landscape, but it is actually the result of prehistoric dust storms. One plausible theory suggests that the dust particles got trapped when they connected with the wetter grasslands. It's also suggested that it would have taken 25,000 years to create this hilly landscape, judging from today's wind speed. Number 1. Caught between a rock and a hard place. If it's rocks you're after, you can't go wrong by heading to Bryce Canyon. The odd-shaped pillars are the result of erosion, and just seeing photographs does not do it justice. Enjoy Thor's hammer, humongous hoodoos, and a sinking ship. It's like a Norse myth coming alive after being developed over 70 million years.